Dr. Amara Johnson adjusted her Hermes scarf as she stepped out of her Tesla Model S at the private airfield in Teterboro, New Jersey. As the CEO and founder of Quantum Dynamics, a revolutionary aerospace technology company, she had built her empire from a cramped garage in Detroit to a $15 billion valuation in just 8 years. Today's meeting was supposed to be the crown jewel of her career, finalizing a $770 million acquisition deal with Meridian Aviation, one of the world's largest private jet manufacturers. The morning sun gleamed off the sleek fuselage of a Gulfstream G700 as Amara approached the aircraft where the meeting was scheduled to take place. She had specifically requested this unique venue, discussing aerospace deals literally in the sky seemed poetic. What she didn't expect was what awaited her inside. As Amara climbed the aircraft steps, she was greeted not by Robert Meridian, the company's billionaire owner, but by his assistant, a young blonde woman who looked her up and down with barely concealed disdain. "Excuse me, ma'am," the assistant said, blocking Amara's path. "I think you might be in the wrong place. The catering staff entrance is around back." Amara's jaw tightened, but her voice remained steady. "I'm Dr. Amara Johnson, CEO of Quantum Dynamics. I have a 10 a.m. meeting with Mr. Meridian." The assistant's eyes widened in mock surprise. "Oh. You're the diversity hire they told me about. Well, I suppose come on in then." As Amara entered the main cabin, she found herself in a room full of middle-aged white men in expensive suits, all of whom turned to stare at her with varying degrees of surprise and skepticism. Robert Meridian, a silver-haired man in his 60s, approached with what he clearly thought was a welcoming smile. "Dr. Johnson. So glad you could make it. I have to say, when we heard Quantum Dynamics was run by a woman, we were quite curious." He gestured to an empty seat at the far end of the conference table, clearly separated from the main group. "Please, take a seat over there." But the real humiliation was yet to come. As the meeting progressed, Meridian and his board members consistently talked over Amara, questioned her credentials, and made subtle but unmistakable references to her race and gender. When she presented Quantum Dynamics' groundbreaking ion propulsion technology that could revolutionize private aviation, one board member actually laughed. "Sweetie," said Harold Blackstone, Meridian's head of acquisitions, "this is impressive for a little startup, but we're talking about real aerospace engineering here. Are you sure you understand the complexities involved?" The final straw came when Meridian himself leaned back in his leather chair and said, "Look, Amara, can I call you Amara? We appreciate what you've built, really. It's inspiring to see someone from your background achieve so much. But let's be realistic about what this deal is really worth. We're thinking more along the lines of $200 million, and frankly, that's generous." The room fell silent. Amara could hear the jet engines humming beneath them as they cruised at 40,000 feet. Every person in that cabin was looking at her, waiting to see if she would accept their insulting offer or push back. Amara slowly closed her portfolio and placed her hands flat on the table. When she spoke, her voice was quiet but carried the weight of mountains. "Gentlemen, I want to thank you for this meeting. You've taught me something invaluable today." Meridian smiled smugly. "Glad we could share some wisdom. So, do we have a deal at $200 million? Amara stood up, her 6-foot frame commanding the attention of everyone in the cabin. "What you've taught me is that Meridian Aviation is exactly the kind of company I never want to be associated with." She pulled out her phone and speed-dialed her CFO. "Marcus? It's Amara. Cancelled the Meridian deal. All of it." "Yes, I'm sure." The color drained from Meridian's face. $770 million, Dr. Johnson. You're walking away from $770 million. No, Mr. Meridian. You are. What happened next would become legend in aerospace circles. Amara smiled for the first time since entering the aircraft. "You see, gentlemen, while you were busy underestimating me because of the color of my skin and my gender, you failed to do your homework. That $770 million deal you just offered me pennies for? It wasn't for you to acquire quantum dynamics. The room erupted in confused murmurs. It was for quantum dynamics to acquire Meridian Aviation. Silence. You see, 6 months ago, I quietly purchased 51% of Meridian's outstanding debt through a network of shell companies. Your company is leveraged to the hilt, Mr. Meridian. You're one missed payment away from bankruptcy, and that payment is due, let me check, tomorrow. Harold Blackstone's face had gone ashen. That's impossible. Amara opened her portfolio and slid a stack of documents across the table. I was prepared to honor that debt, absorb your company's liabilities, and pay your shareholders $770 million for the privilege. I was going to keep all of you on, expand your operations, and bring Meridian into the 21st century. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. But after today's display of ignorance and prejudice, I've changed my mind. Robert Meridian's hands shook as he picked up the documents. Dr. Johnson, please. Let's discuss this reasonably. Perhaps we got off on the wrong foot, Mr. Meridian. There is no wrong foot. There is only your foot, firmly planted in your mouth. Amara gathered her things. Here's what's going to happen instead. She walked to the aircraft's window, gazing out at the clouds below. Tomorrow, when you default on your debt payments, Quantum Dynamics will assume control of Meridian Aviation's assets. Your shareholders will receive exactly nothing. Your board members will be terminated immediately. And you, Mr. Meridian, will be out of the aerospace business forever. The assistant who had insulted her at the beginning looked like she might faint. But I'm not unreasonable, Amara continued. I'll make you a counteroffer. You can sell me Meridian Aviation right now, today, for $50 million. That's enough to pay your immediate debts and leave you with a modest retirement fund. 50 million? Meridian sputtered. The company is worth 10 times that. Was worth 10 times that. Before you decided to humiliate someone who held your financial future in her hands. Amara checked her watch. You have until we land to decide. After that, the offer expires. The remainder of the flight passed in tense silence. Amara worked on her laptop, occasionally taking calls from other aerospace CEOs who had somehow already gotten wind of the situation. Each conversation seemed to make the Meridian board members more nervous. Amara, darling, came a voice through her phone's speaker, loud enough for everyone to hear. It was Elena Vasquez, CEO of European Space Dynamics. I just heard the most delicious rumor. Is it true you're about to own Meridian Aviation? Possibly, Amara replied coolly, not looking up from her screen. Well, if you need investors for the restructuring, count me in for $500 million. Those old boys have been gatekeeping long enough. Another call came in from Jean Wu, founder of Pacific Aerospace. Amara, my friend. If you're taking over Meridian, I want manufacturing contracts for the Asian market. Whatever you're paying, I'll double it. By the time they began their descent into Teterboro, Meridian's board members were whispering frantically among themselves. Finally, as the wheels touched down, Robert Meridian walked over to Amara's seat. Dr. Johnson, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. We accept your offer. 6 months later, Meridian Aviation, now a subsidiary of Quantum Dynamics, had become the most innovative private jet manufacturer in the world. Under Amara's leadership, they launched the first fully electric luxury aircraft, secured partnerships with 3 major airlines, and saw their stock price triple. The former board members? They learned about the transformation from the unemployment line. Robert Meridian retired to a modest home in Florida, while Harold Blackstone took a job as a junior sales associate at a regional aircraft parts supplier. The assistant who had insulted Amara at the beginning? She applied for a job at Quantum Dynamics' new diversity and inclusion department. Her application was politely declined. Dr. Amara Johnson's story became a case study at Harvard Business School, titled Strategic Patience: how preparation meets opportunity. But for Amara, the real victory wasn't financial. Standing in her corner office overlooking the quantum dynamics campus in Seattle, she looked out at the diverse team of engineers, designers, and executives who now worked for her company. Young women of all colors were leading project teams. The executive board looked like America actually looked. Her assistant, a brilliant young Pakistani-American woman named Zara, knocked on her door. "Dr. Johnson? The Meridian Integration Report is ready. We're ahead of schedule and under budget." Amara smiled. "And Zara? Next week we're announcing the scholarship program. The Dr. Amara Johnson Aerospace Scholarship for Underrepresented Students?" "No," Amara corrected. "Just call it the Future of Flight Scholarship. The kids who receive it won't need my name to validate their worth." Outside her window, a prototype of the new Meridian Quantum hybrid aircraft taxied down the runway, its electric engines whisper quiet, carrying passengers toward a future that looked nothing like the past. In the aerospace industry, they now had a saying: never underestimate someone who's already beaten you at your own game, especially if you're too prejudiced to realize it. Dr. Amara Johnson had taught an entire industry that respect isn't given based on appearance, it's earned through excellence, and maintained through character, and sometimes, the best revenge is simply being undeniably, unstoppably successful.